Welcome to Learning Unit number 2. We're going to discuss the identification of the issue or a problem and also agenda setting for this learning unit. And when I say identification of the issue, we're looking predominantly at each one of us selecting a state or national policy issue that we're going to work on throughout this week. So we are going to look at 3 healthcare policy issues. So you're going to choose one of the 3. I know sometimes students do enjoy looking for their own policy issue. They've already been involved in a policy issue, but I want us to have a lot of information so that we can learn from one another, share with one another. So I have limited it to 3 key healthcare policy issues which impact on the nursing profession and especially the patients that we serve today. So you're going to be able to describe nurse leader involvement in policy making, in the process of policy making for proposals that improve health systems, improve job satisfaction, and improve public health. Sorry about that stumbling there. So welcome to all of our policy entrepreneurs. That's what we're going to be considered this semester, is a policy entrepreneur. And the reason for that you're going to better understand by reading chapter 3 in your text. And to kind of go over, it starts in chapter 3 with key terms, as does every chapter. And I highly recommend for this class that you, for this course, that you review the key terms. And you will see them again used throughout the chapter. But if you start that in the key term area, it really seems to help. So a policy entrepreneur is defined as elected politicians, leaders of interest groups, but where you come in is motivated and energetic individuals who use their knowledge of the policy making process, and they work with others to promote policy change. So I really feel that we are and will be policy entrepreneurs this semester. Another page in your text that I'm taking this from is page 66. And it says in the second full graph, policy entrepreneurs play a key role in the problem, policy, and political streams. And here's where I want you to focus. They are the squeaky wheel advocates who constantly seek to collaborate with other advocates and policymakers to address problems, to try to make things better. Policy entrepreneurs are the advocates who are willing to invest, and we know that policy entrepreneurs do invest time, energy, and reputation. So as we go forward, please put on your policy entrepreneur hat and we'll continue. So by the end of this learning unit, you're going to have read chapter 3. Again, I know I can't say it strongly enough. Take it slow. Start with the key terms. Pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. But the information is important for us to build our foundation as policy entrepreneurs and to complete the assignments for this learning unit. So you're going to participate in week 2 discussion, and you're also going to complete your first of 5 assignments. So besides your discussion boards, as we talked last week, you are going to be completing 4 assignments, with the 5th being a compilation of the previous 4. And the one you're going to be working on this learning unit is issue identification. Make sense? So this comes from, and you're going to see the statement, and let me just go down and then back up, that statement of planned change policy assessment or assignments you're going to see the same opening. And let's talk about the policy assignments. So we know the nursing profession can influence healthcare policy at the local, state, and even federal and global level. But many nurses are not engaging in health policy. Many nurses don't have the educational background to support their engagement in health policy. The planned policy change assignment will help prepare you, the integrative nurse leader, to address policy issues in healthcare and to advocate for the nursing profession and our patients. So you're going to be completing 4 policy assignments. And the first one is due this week, is the identification of the issue. And then you see you're going to be completing on choosing a champion, the background, the timeline, and evaluation. And these 4 components are going to really provide you with all the work and the information besides perhaps what feedback myself or your colleagues give you, or what additional information you find as we go through these 7 weeks. So, and all of that information is going to be part of your final planned policy change. But by the end of this learning unit, or by the end of this course, you're going to have all of the information that you need to have that final planned policy change in place. We're going to actually present it in week 6, and then week 7 is going to be our final course reflection. So every week we have a discussion board, and now that we're in week 2, we also have one of the components for our final planned policy change. So again, you're going to choose one of 3 topics that I have provided for you for your planned policy assignments. And we're going to introduce those this learning unit. They're going to be either number 1, workplace violence, number 2, nurse to patient staffing ratio, or 3, medical assistance in dying. So how do you know, and throughout the week or throughout the course, these are the assignments that you're going to have. So how do you know which one you want to select? Maybe you already do. Maybe you are very interested, involved at the unit level, at the hospital level of nursing leadership on nurse to patient staffing ratio. But this will take everyone to the next level as far as policy involvement. So how do you know about which one to choose? Well, I provided you our prime view. This learning unit is workplace violence. And why is that? Because it's over an hour of a free on-demand ANA, American Nursing Association webinar. It's fantastic. So it starts out with one individual is giving kind of a general overview of workplace violence in healthcare for nurses. And that's good, but the second speaker is truly amazing. So, and this is something that you are going to click on, you're going to register, and registering just requires your name and your email. Once you click on for that, there's no fee. You don't have to be a member of the ANA. Once you click on register, you will be able to access that webinar immediately. They also encourage you to share that webinar. So if you really get as excited as I did, you're going to probably want to share that. And then if that's the one that you choose, you're going to know that within the tab on the left-hand side, policy issues, there's going to be more information on each one of our 3 focus areas. The next is nurse staffing ratios. So I have an article and some information on nurse to patient staffing ratios, what we've learned from California. California had implemented nurse staffing ratios a few years back. So now other states are looking at that, and we want to know if there's federal action as well, if there's action at the federal level. you're going to see many different ways of looking at things. And policy is often at the state level instead of the federal. But you may see it going both ways, or you may just see state or federal. So you're going to see that in the policy issues tabs. But everyone, no matter which of the three that you're choosing, is going to watch this webinar, is going to look at the information from National Nurses United on nursing staffing ratios and learning from the California experience. And the third issue that everyone's going to look at this learning unit is medical assistance in dying, or medical aid in dying. And this comes from the site Compassion and Choices. So you're going to learn more about medical aid in dying, and it is already authorized in, I think it's 11 states and the District of Columbia. But if you're interested in your state, for your state, there are a lot of other policies that maybe bills in the House right now. There are, but those other sources of information, at least to get you started, are in the policy issue tab. So our discussion board too is going to be, after learning more about these three topic areas, and you might be doing more investigation, share which of the three policy focused topics that you have identified as the one that you're going to work on for your final plan change policy. And it's also going to be the one that you work on for your first assignment. It's your identifying the issue. So these two parts really go together. You're going to use a lot of this information here, or the information you've written here, into answering the first part of the discussion board. But why did you choose this topic? Why are you interested in medical assistance in dying? Why are you interested in nurse-patient staffing ratios? And then I also want you to share, just to summarize the information that you have gleaned from the ANA webinar on violence against nurses. So please share with us really what were the highlights for you in this webinar. And she's got some great slides that you may stop and pause and review. So please know that you can keep that information also as part of your reply or your response here. And if you are working on violence in the workplace, then you can also use that for your assignment 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's the end for this learning unit. And we do move along fast, so please keep up with the readings. But I think it's all very doable because we're building on each one of our assignments. And our discussion boards, I always try to make pertinent to what you're experiencing in the learning unit activities. So have a great week, and I hope things went well in your spring break. So you've started back with Learning Unit 1 and now 2, energized and ready to take on the new role. I'm thinking it's the new role, but possibly not, but a new role of policy entrepreneur.